Alright, so today basically we're going to work on a torso. Um, and the best way to do a torso is I've got the boxes set up as I did in the previous episode. And so basically all we're going to do is we're going to zoom extends all here by hitting the Z. And I'm just going to create a box like so. Move it up along this lines here. And I'm just going to hit the transparent right there, and I'm just going back to the shaded mode because I just don't like the way the other mode works. Okay, then what you want to do is make sure we're going to just zoom up here real quick, and we're going to look at this in a little bit different way here. So let's look at our cylinder. So our cylinder right now is the radius of 4. I'm going to just shrink that a little bit, and then I don't need 18 sides. The nice thing, you want to always pay attention, and I'll just do this real quick here. Say we'll do 10 once. Okay, so you always want to pay attention to the middle seam here. If I do 12, oops, not 112. If I do 12, you'll get a middle seam right here and right here. Okay, and that's pretty much good enough for what I'm gonna work on right now. And then I'm gonna start here, kind of in the center, and I'm gonna move up to about the shoulders. Now I'm not gonna do the full shoulders because I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this into a editable poly, and I'm gonna zoom back up in this mode right here. Actually, we'll do this real quick. So as an editable poly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the polygon as a whole, and I'm going to scale it down, and I'm only going to scale it in one direction because basically, and go back to shaded view here. So basically I'm going to move this over here like so, and I'm just going to move that a little bit back. Okay, so now five subjects is good enough. We got 12 on this side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and delete half of this. Okay, and this is the simple fact that we don't need to do both sides. We just need to work on one. What I can do is basically mirror this and do as an instance. So if I do to one, it happens to the other, and I'm pretty much set to go in that aspect, right? So now I'm going to click on this one, and let's start manipulating. The first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to basically move this up so you get the groin area right here, and I'm going to move both sides, and that's like so. Now, if you can see, this isn't really set in the center, and I should really move this over so that I can see both sides here. So I'm going to just move this so it's kind of directly in the center there. That's pretty close. Alright, now I'm going to go back. Oops. Just do one side. I'm going to go back and let's move this up a little bit more. And then now the reason I'm doing this right here is because I'm just going to use this to follow the area like so, and this is kind of the hip bone area, right, like so. And then we're going to use this one here as the lower back. And now I'm going to do a low poly one here, and the reason I'm doing low poly is because high poly just takes forever to do as far as a demonstration. And a lot of this stuff is more theory than anything else. So you're really just more or less kind of playing around with it. And this is, this is the way I do it. You can do it any way you want. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to just quick slice this to add another geometry set here. And slowly move that in. So now, as you can see, I'm getting this slow thing here. Now, this side here is a little bit off. There's a couple ways I can fix this. One of the simplest ways is just simply take this side and move it over until it lines up. And it could be the drawing. My drawing might be a little bit lopsided, but so then I'm going to just go here, grab this, and we'll just move this side until they meet up in the center. Okay. And then, you know, here we're going to just go around. And then now this is the kind of tricky part, okay? And a lot of people make this and then just cut a hole into it. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom back here and we're going to hit this as perspective. And see, now if you look from the front, this looks okay. From the sides, it doesn't look very good at all. So what we're going to do is before I really manipulate this top here, I'm going to go on this side here. And we're going to go like so. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just move this line over. Oops. Here like so. This we're going to move out. And this I'm going to move out as well. Now, and the reason I'm doing this in quads too is the simple fact that with quads you can always dump this into one of your other engines, such as Zbrush or Max or Zbrush or Mudbox, and then from there you can actually work on your stuff and create high poly. And that's why I do basically the quad style geometry. Now this is going to get a little bit weird because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line here like so, and that's going to be the kind of the center of the butt, and then this right here is we're going to pull out a little bit more to be that the curve of the butt here. So I'm going to just move this over a little bit. And we'll go in and fix this. Now, another thing you want to pay attention to is these straight lines. You really never want to have solid straight lines. Like this is bad. This doesn't happen in the body. It doesn't happen in real life. So what you need to do is basically go in and kind of just manipulate and fix accordingly. You know, if you look here, you know, we can just, and it doesn't have to be much. Just moving it down like so to fit where the rest of the body comes up. And we're just going to move this over like so. And that's going to define the rib cage. Like so. And then these back ones here, we're just going to move around like so. And now here is where the breasts come into play, but I'm not going to actually work on manipulating the breasts right now. I'm just going to get the body, the torso shape itself down. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is because that I don't want to worry about manipulating this geometry. I'll do that separately. I'm more concerned about the way the torso works. So now, if I'm going to just hit this, and that looks pretty good for a torso to start out with. Okay, so I'm going to transparent that again, or X-ray that with Alt-X. And let's see here, let's go back up to this one. Now, up here, again, I'm doing this realistic, and I really don't like realistic when I'm working on this. But, so, with here, now, I've got this area right here. Now, this is relatively low poly, so the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of add in my own geometry here. Okay, and the first way I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this via the perspective viewport, and I'm going to solidify the shapes so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to cut in this geometry, and I'm going to cut in here, come down. Now, and I'm a big fan of anytime you cut, you have to go in and manipulate the geometry. So I'm going to cut here, like so, and I'm going to cut this in here. And now, as you can see, I'm starting to cut in geometry the way the actual muscles would work. As you can see, I've got the rib cage flowing down here, and I've got the hip pelvis bone coming up here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slowly start manipulating this geometry here. And we'll send that just a hair back. We won't even worry about that. And then, yeah, we won't. Let's pull this back out here. So this comes out here. And like so. Let's move this up a little bit. It gives you a little arch. And like so. Now, with that in place, okay, with these two strips in place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go into edge mode, and I'm going to select this edge here. I'm going to shift C so I can go back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move by scrolling, holding shift, and I'm going to just add one geometry here, and I'm going to go right back up here. Now, when I look at it from this way, it's going to look horrible, but I'm going to move this down, and this is like so. And yeah, like so. And then this, as you can see, this right here, this is what happens when you, because all quads are basically two triangles put together. And so if you ever get this right here, you always want to hit turn on it, and turn will flatten that out pretty nicely. Now the other thing is we just need to go up here, and I'm going to just go back into edge mode here, and really quick I'll target weld this to this and this to this. Okay, and that's going to give me the basics of what I was working on. And then if I want, I can actually really quickly just cut. Now let's just move this down a little bit. And around like so. So as far as a low poly figure, you know, this isn't too bad. I could probably move this one up here a little bit more, and probably inside, just narrow it out a little bit more. But that's going to give us the basically pelvic region, and like that. So then up here, we're going to kind of do the same thing, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Let's go in the front mode, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So with this, you have to realize that the shoulder muscle here actually flows into the chest. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this side here, and we're going to move it up, okay? And this is going to be almost like a pectoral muscle right here. So let's, something like so. So this is my pectoral muscle, and this will flow into my arm muscle. Okay, and then for this, I'm going to actually, we're going to go up here, and I'm going to pick, I don't need to worry about the center ones here so much. Take this, hold in shift, and we're going to go up. And I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to go back down. Okay, and then I'm going to come back here and hit this, and we'll just target weld accordingly. Alright, and that's going to give us that whole aspect. Alright, and I think we'll just go front here. Zoom. Zoom. Okay, so now we can go to the front. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up here. This is the top of the chest. This is going to be like so. So we can actually move these over. And now notice here I've got my collarbone ridge, and I'm going to bring that up. And I'm just kind of manipulating that into something like so. Now, if I want, I can actually kind of almost collapse these together if you want, but I'm not going to do that right as of yet, because what I'm going to do is we're going to cut. Let's cut from here all the way across, like so. Alright, and with this, we'll just pull this out a little bit, give it a little bit more roundness. This is actually going to go up because we're going to put our neck in there, if you will, and like so. Now these hard edges here, because we made new, we didn't make new smoothing groups, so we'll deal with that in a second. But really, this is your base torso right here. Okay, and then really what you're going to do is you can put on, and we're going to use a quad sphere, as we're going to put on the breast, something like so, and we are going to move that forward to kind of match up there. And now, as you can see, this breast is way too high poly, so let's break that down to probably 12. Alright, and let's it's still too big. And it all depends on, you know, the way the character is and so on and so forth. So then we're going to convert this into an editable poly. And now basically what a breast is a teardrop shape. So we're going to actually go in and kind of manipulate this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down and add an FFD 2x2 in there. And we're going to go into the control points. And the first thing I'm going to do is manipulate the back, these control points to go up, these control points to come in, and so we still maintain our basic shape. I'm going to move this out like so, and let's move these, oops, almost back a little bit, okay, and then I'm going to collapse all. Say yes. So there's my editable poly. I'm going to go into, I'm going to just hit isolation mode real quick here, and I'm going to go into this. I've got the grow selection set up to my hotkey, so I'm going to just actually go somewhat along. Actually, let's do border here, and we're just going to scale this border out so we don't lose the geometry, but yet we're going to still do this. Now I'm going to isolation mode, and then I'm going to transparent that, close this off, go to this one, and this is where we add the extra cuts in there to kind of match up the geometry. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut here, and like so, and I'm going to pause it or stop it right now, and I'll bring you another video back.